All right, we're back here on WrestleRant with another Survivor Series review, this time breaking down the 1988 installment. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and if you haven't already, be sure to check out my other two WrestleRant videos out today, my reviews of No Mercy 2008 and Survivor Series 1987. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Survivor Series 1988 kicked off with, of course, this was another one of those shows that consisted nothing but Survivor Series traditional elimination tag team matches. 5-on-5, 4-on-4. All of these were 5-on-5, but there have been some 4-on-4 ones over the years as well. But this one featured the Ultimate Warrior, Brutus Beefcake, the Blue Blazer, Jiff Brunzell, I don't know how you pronounce that, and Sam Houston taking on the team of Ron Bass, Danny Davis, I always mispronounce that, Greg Valentine, Bad News Brown, and the Honky Tonk Man. So, of course, the focal point of this match, everyone else I didn't either know or didn't give a shit about. Guys like Sam Houston, Jim Brunzell, all these other guys that I just had zero idea who they were. They're all losers. They were all enhancement talent. But, of course, the big focal point of this matchup was the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior. This was only months removed from when he beat Honky Tonk Man for the belt at SummerSlam, so he was obviously showcased here. All of his teammates were eliminated pretty quickly, same with Honky Tonk Man. Lastly eliminates Honky Tonk Man to pick up the win. The match itself wasn't really anything good, but I mean, compared to the other ones, I thought it was a great opener. It was a perfect way of opening the show. Ultimate Warrior, say what you will about his in-ring work and his mic skills and stuff like that, but he was very fun to watch in the ring, and this was no exception. So a fun little match. Ultimate Warrior, his push continues with a strong showing in the opener of Survivor Series. So after that, our second elimination tag team match of the night, another one of those from last year, where we had a 20-man tag team elimination match, where it was 10 teams, 5 on each team. It was the Powers of Pain, the Rockers, the British Bulldogs, the Horror Foundation, and the Young Stallions taking on Demolition, the Brainbusters, the Bolsheviks, the Fabulous Rougeaus, and the Conquistadors. So all these teams, what I liked about this match, even more so than the year prior, was that I was more accustomed, I was more familiar with all of these teams than I was in 1987. Not to say that they were the same teams, but there were more teams in this match than I knew of. Demolition, Powers of Pain, the Rockers, all these other great tag teams. And it was awesome. It made for an amazing match. And what I really liked about this match, and I hate to keep on going back to the same Divas match that I mentioned in my last review, but the 7-on-7 women's match from Survivor Series 2013, the non-Total Divas versus the Total Divas, it was a shitty-ass match. Forgot how much time it got, but it felt like it was totally rushed. When you have more people in it, when you have more than 5-on-5 people, when you have more than 10 people in one match and you have twice the amount, does it not make sense to do twice the time, right? And that's exactly what this match was. It got 42 minutes, and it deserved every single second of it. The in-ring action was awesome. It told some great stories, which we'll get to in a second. But there was a lot of things going on, and it had a lot of people that you know of, even if you weren't watching at this time. You had Bret Hart, you had Shawn Michaels, you had all these other great tag teams that were just Davey Boy Smith and all these other great tag team competitors and managers and stuff like that. Just a lot to watch out for, and it made for a very, very fun match. And they didn't try to rush the eliminations, and of course, like I said in my last review, the first person from each team to get eliminated meant the entire team was gone. So it wasn't like one person. That would have taken forever. But it does make sense with so many people to have the match go longer instead of rushing through it. Oh, you're done, you're a finisher, you're done, finisher, you're done. That's what happens so often nowadays. And that's only when you have one Survivor Series elimination match. Back then, we had fucking 4 or 5 of them on the same show. And I was so happy they kind of took their time with it, allowed the eliminations to kind of sink in, and allowed them to digest before moving on to the next one. But the best part about this match, other than the in-ring action, what I thought came at the ending. You got a great double turn with the Powers of Pain joining forces with Jimmy Hart, I want to say. One of the managers, I forgot who it was. Mr. Fuji, sorry. Mr. Fuji had taken the Powers of Pain after he had previously managed Demolition in this matchup. Kind of teased tension. It cost Demolition the win and sided with the Powers of Pain, kicking off Demolition's run as one of the most popular babyface tandems in WWE history. So I thought the double turn was very well executed. People bought into it. It was a nice little swerve. And it ended the match on a very cool note and planting the seeds for the future feud between those two tag teams. So a very entertaining match. A great swerve there at the end that made sense and made you want to see what was going to happen next between the Powers of Pain, Mr. Fuji, and Demolition. 2 thumbs up all around. So after that, we had another 5-on-5 elimination traditional tag team matchup pitting Andre the Giant, Rick Rude, Dino Bravo, Harley Race, and Mr. Perfect against the 5-man team of Jake Roberts, Scott Casey, Ken Patera, Tito Santana, and Jim Duggan. A fine match, really nothing decent. I mean, it was probably the least, I would say the opener was the least exciting. It was a good match. A lot of these people, not a lot of them, but there were some of these people, unlike the opener, like Scott Casey, that I didn't really give two shits about. But for the most part, it was entertaining. All the heels gelled well together. Andre the Giant, Rick Rude, and Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo, we did not really hear too much about or see too much of him in like archive footage and stuff like that, unless you go back and watch these pay-per-views. I always thought in watching his matches back on these pay-per-views, I thought he was very entertaining as a singles heel. He would showed a lot more enthusiasm than many heels would, so that was kind of made him stand out from the rest of the pack. So I thought he was unique in that respect. But in the end, it was Mr. Perfect and Mr. Perfect and Dino Bravo as the sole survivors. So Mr. Perfect, who was relatively new on the scene, came out of this thing looking very, very strong. Dino Bravo, again, like I said, a great heel, got his rightful due and being one of the sole survivors. And one of the best parts about these matches, and kind of going off track here a little bit, was that they weren't always predictable. And I mean, in recent years, it's kind of what we've gotten back to. Like last year in the main event when John Cena was not among the sole survivors, even though his team won. Who could have seen that coming? You know, the Big Show heel turn was stupid, but the John Cena getting eliminated halfway through the match was what very much reminded me of prior elimination tag team matches. Like the year before when Hogan was eliminated halfway through, you know, as opposed to the end or whatever when he gets DQ'd or counted out. That's what I liked about these matches, and this one was kind of along those same lines. I didn't expect Andre. If the heel team was going to win, I figured he would be a part of the ending equation, but he wasn't. It was Dino Bravo and Mr. Perfect putting over two of the younger stars in the WWF. So good match and an even better result. So we get to the main event. The Mega Powers teaming with Hercules, Coco Beware, Hillbilly Jim to take on the 5-man team of the Twin Towers, Ted DiBiase, Haku, and the Red Rooster. So the babyface team was a lot more stacked than the heel team, and it was the 80s were a weird time because the lower tier guys were flirting with the main event stars more often than not, and that was kind of the case here. You had guys like the Red Rooster, Coco Beware, who was over, but come on, main event star, give me a break. Hillbilly Jim. So it was kind of a weird collection of guys who were all feuding at one point or another, but I just thought it was odd chemistry between the 10 men. But it was still a good main event. I thought the tag team one was the best match of the night, but it was still a very entertaining match that, like I said in my last Survivor Series review in regards to the ending, planted the seeds for the future. After the ending and after Hogan and Savage won the match, and by taking out DiBiase and the rest of the team, they were celebrating with Miss Elizabeth and all happy and whatever, and Hulk Hogan hugs Miss Elizabeth, and you see Savage just give Hogan that look. And you know what look I'm talking about, just gives him that look, and then she hugs him, and Savage kind of just shakes it off, and they continue celebrating. The commentators don't really pick up on it, I don't think. And it's a very subtle tease for what's to come in the months to come at WrestleMania, only a couple months later, but in the split of the Mega Powers and leading it to Savage versus Hogan at WrestleMania. So I thought it was successful in that respect, and from an in-ring standpoint, a pretty good match, an enjoyable main event, which with even better implications in the months to come, as it would later lead into the Mega Powers feud between Savage and Hogan going into WrestleMania 5. So on the whole, another good show. You know, I loved Survivor Series 1988, or rather 87. This is 88. I thought it was very entertaining, and again, if you don't like the all tag team match format of these early shows, they're probably not for you. But I would say give it a try with the 87 show, and if you like that one, you'll like this one too. But the best part about it is that they're not just matches. They're not just the matches aren't just fun for the sake of being fun. They further feuds. They plant the seeds for stuff that's to come, like we saw in the main event, like we saw in the tag team moment with the Powers of Pain and Demolition. The Ultimate Warrior getting the rocket just strapped to him going to the moon as the Intercontinental Champion, as we would soon see in the years to come. And the other one with Andre and those guys, we had the getting put over. We had the rise of Dino Bravo and Mr. Perfect. So all 4 matches, very entertaining, made for a very fun night at Survivor Series 1988. So it gets a thumbs up for me. So be sure to check it out on the WWE Network for a solid thumbs up show. So that's going to do it for my review of Survivor Series 1988, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, you can find me on Twitter at WrestleRant, on Facebook at facebook.com/Graham.Matthews. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All support is greatly appreciated. We'll be back on Tuesday with another 3 more WrestleRant videos with my reviews of Survivor Series 89, 91, and 92. My review of 90 is already up from last year, so be on the lookout for those 3 videos as we prepare to get back on track with my WrestleRant video schedule going into the rest of the month of November as Survivor Series quickly approaches. Survivor Series, not Survivor Series. Excuse me. Survivor Series would be an interesting take on the Survivor Series name, though. Keep that in mind. If anyone comes up with that, no, I was the first one to say it. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, or weekend, rather. This is going up on Sunday. So have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch you down the road.